Hello everybody, welcome back for some more Metroid Other M. I technically wasn't planning on recording again today, but I feel a bit better now. Slightly better. My nose is not nearly as bad as it was before, but still, it's going to have some times where that will happen. But either way, we're back with some more. We just got Wave Beam. I'm trying to remember exactly what's next. I'm not going to bother looking up right now. I think... shit. I mean... Maybe Super Missile might be next. I don't know. I mean, obviously Power Bomb is the last, and it looks like Gravity Suit is the second to last one. And before that, we have another missile type that's completely new, the Secret Missile. Oh yeah, we got Grapple. Yeah, I think Grapple Beam might actually finally be next. If I remember correctly, I think there's only maybe 3 or 4 sectors. I don't know. I feel like there might have been more. There might have been actually probably 6, maybe a lot more than that. It's been a while since I've beaten the game, so there's that. Not much I can really, talk about there besides let's just, move out and see what happens. Oh, that door's unlocked. I think we've been through here, right? Maybe? Wait, is it not unlocked? Why were you... Hold on, what? Why were you pointing in that direction? Is there something I'm missing here? Is there a puzzle I have to solve? Is there some enemies I have to find? Or do I go this way? Most likely I'm probably going to go this way. I think they're just showing me like, hey, this stuff's closed off. You can't do anything here. Can't do that thing either because it's not turned on. So there's that. Technically no point in fighting these assheads, but... I mean, they die pretty easily, and they just get in my way. I guess, if anything... When I said there's no point in fighting enemies, I guess what I can say is there's probably technically a point, because if they're in your way, like the only way to get them out of that is to, well, defeat them. So, I mean, in all fairness, that would be what it is. Also, this gives me Goemon vibes with the whole, like, running around in the circle thing and having to climb, potential lava-filled places and stuff and what have you. Goemon is in like the 2.5D side-scroller one for 64. Or 64. So anyway, an update on things that I've done today, because I'm pretty sure people love to hear me update or talk about things in general. I mean, I don't know, maybe. Wait, we've done this before, yeah. Wait, hold on, did you see that? Hold on, did you see that? Because it looked like for a second there was like an upgrade just right there. Waiting to get grabbed. Oh, come on. That's fucking dumb. I don't know. It's like, I can see it, on the map. I know it's there. I just need to figure out how to get to it, I guess. Are we even going the right way? Where am I located? I'm going the completely wrong way. Yeah, but, I mean... I can't go that way because it's locked out, right? Am I wrong? I mean, it basically is. I don't know, man. I mean, it's... Like I said, it's... Oh, shit. I think you're supposed to maybe speed boost this one. Most likely. Kind of sucks that it does take a bit to kind of activate Speed Booster, but, I mean... It is what it is. I'm not going to complain too much. It's kind of pointless to do that. I think this might be where we need to go because, I mean, we have Speed Booster. I mean, if worse comes to worse, at the very least, you could just argue, well, even if we do go this way, you might be able to get some upgrades, maybe. Some, small power-ups here and there. Come on. Open your chest. Anyway, so my updates, because I haven't been really working on main things I should be, of course. And I've been playing some games, and man, I don't know if I told you guys this yet or not, but I've been playing, like, Metroid Prime Pinball, and I finally made it to Metroid Prime itself, which I'm certain has to be the final boss, I'm pretty sure. And, of course, I get eliminated and killed, and it sucks, but it happens. There we go, nice. But either way, I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I think it's a very fun game. Will I ever do a Let's Play of it? I don't know, because, well, one, it's a DS game, so it's going to be kind of hard to do that, unless, of course, you know, emulator. But we know how those things are these days, so... how things are, I guess. How people feel about that. Dude. Do the thing. Wrong one. That one. God, it's like you just waste your fucking time. Let me guess. I have to fight him every time I come through here? Is that what we're going to have to do now? There's like a little hole thing there. You see that? But there has to be, right? Like, am I going nuts? Oh, okay. Well, maybe I am going fucking crazy. Wait, there's a door thing. Oh, I see that, yeah. Anyway, I got a little farther in Metroid Prime Pinball, and I, you know, I like it a lot. Oh, I see what we gotta do. Okay. Good thing we came this way, then. And, yeah. Like I said, I got to the boss, and then got completely wiped out. You know, he lasered me back, underneath the flippers and killed me, so that sucked. Didn't have a force field protecting me or anything from it, because I don't want to go into detail about, like, how Prime Pinball works. I mean, yes, it is pinball, all things said, but there's, like, different aspects of it. Like, you can get different modifiers that happen on the table that help you out big time and what have you. And to get artifacts, you have to kind of, like, complete these minigames, and you have to at least, I think, fight 2 specific bosses. And they're usually, you know, only in, like, Phendrana / the Phazon Mines. It's the Omega Pirate you have to fight, and in Phendrana you fight TARDIS, so there's that. It's cool, you know, I like it a lot. And the thing with me, though, is, like, when it comes to, you know, pinball stuff, I've always kind of had a bit of a soft spot for things like that. Like, playing, you know, Sonic Spinball as a kid was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of neat. There we go. And then, of course, you know, Space Pinball on the computer. That was always kind of cool. Back then. Still kind of is, if you can find, like, a way to download it. At least the proper version. Because, you know, they keep doing this thing where they keep trying to remaster, like, old games, and they make it, you know, look different. Like, completely different, which, of course, they're going to do that. But I still just kind of want to have, like, the old look, you know? That's what I want. Wait, I went the wrong fucking way. Yeah, that's fine and dandy, game, but then where the hell do you go to go the right way? 'Cause I don't know. No, I'm holding A up. Thank you. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm sure there's a way to get back up. I don't think they're gonna fuck me over that hard, right? I don't know. I mean, the game's proven me wrong before. I think we go back down, actually. Oh, that's what's stomping around. I keep thinking, like, the volcano's gonna blow up soon, but no, it's just these fucking dumbasses. That's just what they do. They just stomp around, and they're just annoying. And then that just leads me back to where I not necessarily came from, I don't think, but... well, not to the main area I need to go. God damn it, go away. But anyway, so after, you know, I kind of lost that match, I tried doing it a few more times and didn't get it, but, oh yeah, I was going to explain how do you actually beat the game. Well, anyway, there's technically 5 maps. One of them is multiplayer, which is Magmore, unfortunately. And I don't think you can really access multiplayer anymore, as far as I'm aware, so there's that. And the main 2 tables you get to play on is Talon Overworld and the Pirate Frigate. So basically that area with the we have to go in with the water shit. You know what I'm talking about. It's like in Talon. So, yeah. You play those, and then eventually you're allowed to teleport, and then you can teleport to Phendrana or Phazon, and then go fight those bosses. Which, if you do beat one boss, you can always just, you know, head to the next level if you wanted to. You don't have to go back to a main map thing or anything like that. Which is pretty nice. Okay, game. You know I can't do anything here. Yeah, about fucking time. Fucking dumb asshole. Well, at least he waited for me to grapple then. That's nice. Are you... What? I'm surprised they killed him. That was fucking weird. Alright. Whatever. Anyway, so... you have to collect 12 artifacts, and to do that, you have to... Like, 2 of them are in a boss fight. And then... The other 10, you have to collect kind of like in the tables. You have to play these minigame things like, oh, defeat these enemies that appear on screen, or whatever, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's a nice concept, but you have to collect all 12. It's fucking annoying, like, every time. But other than that, you know, it's pretty cool. And then after that, you go to the Artifact Temple. Ridley gets in your way. And then, you kind of just have to, you know, hit a bunch of balls into the artifact thingies. The tablet thingies, and what have you. And also, of course, you know, you are in Morph Ball most of the time in the game. There are times where you can actually go into third person, but it's very specific times that happens. Well, let me just shoot his ass down real quick. Charge my health real fast. There we go. Not bad. On that, I'd say it's definitely worth picking up if you can find a copy. It's a very fun game. It's not technically too long, necessarily, but it is pretty cool. And then after I played that, I've had it for a while, but I hadn't played it yet because I just, you know, had other things I was doing, of course, and then I kind of just, I wouldn't say forgot about it, but more so that I just kind of hadn't played it much yet, and that's the Senran Kagura Peach Ball game. And now that I've finally played it, like, actually played it, I can safely say that it's a pretty fun game. It's a little weird in terms of, like, the flashiness of it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on screen a lot. Not enough to where I can say, like, it's completely distracting, but it's just enough to where it's like, okay, there's a lot of stuff sometimes, and
What was your unit directive? I'm tracking that monster.
I don't know, maybe, yeah. That's not a big deal. My first complaint was the camera. Like, you can look at a top view or just looking close to the ball. But no matter what the camera, it'll still follow the ball somehow. Even if it's, like, fully top down, it'll still follow the ball a little bit to where you're going. And that threw me off at first, but then I kind of got used to it, and I still say, you know, that's a pretty good game. I don't know how much it is right now. I think it might be on sale. But you know, it's one of those games that's actually pretty fun, especially if you like the Senran Kagura stuff. And you know, you'll probably like this. I don't really care much for the story bits. As far as I know, I think it's just, you know, Haruka runs a game store thing, and a few of the girls show up, and you know, shenanigans ensue. It's the usual Senran Kagura spin-off story stuff, which I've never really been a big fan of. Same thing with Neptunia. I just don't care about Neptunia spin-off stories, like, at all. Because it always just ends up being, you know, very basic and very shallow stuff. Which, yeah, in all fairness, you could argue that, I mean, in all technicality, you know, Neptunia is pretty shallow in terms of the story a lot of the time, but I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I'd say, like, the main campaigns are usually pretty okay. I do get kind of tired of the same repeat of Nep having amnesia shit. That stuff kind of got old pretty quick.
Lock and secure the shielding doors now.
Adam, wait! Still time. I can make it. Please let me go. I mean, that's Ian. That's your little brother out there.
We're out of time, sir.
Adam, please let me go. You have to trust me. Just give me a chance.
Alright, too late now, ain't it?
Commence drive unit disposal immediately. That's an order.
Damn. He's a cold-hearted asshole.
If we had waited any longer, it would have meant the end of those we had come to rescue.
But then again, you know, that's kind of what makes him that, is he knows better. He knows what he knows exactly what he's doing. It might seem like he's an asshole at first, but he's got everyone's best interest in mind. It's pretty much just a trolley problem at this point. You know, he's saving 5 others instead of the one.
Standing here. That's what the commander is most scared of.
So it sucks, but that's what it is, man.
I was childish. No one should have to make the choice that Adam did, and yet all I could do was question his authority and make things more difficult.
Hey, you were just a puppet, and the commander knows it.
It kind of gives me
Look, we get it. Sorry.
Colonel, God damn it, Colonel Mustang vibes. The way he looks, you know, and especially in that scene. The it's not, or the it's raining scene. Just with, of course, you know, without the rain in this situation.
Best just forget about it. I'm out.
Anyway, I'm gonna go. I have a Peach Ball on Steam, and I know it's. I don't think it's on PlayStation, but I think it's also mostly on Switch, and I think it's only on Switch and Steam. I'm curious.
Hold fast to that glimmer of hope and try for redemption.
Why not? I mean, nothing's really happening. Yeah, it's only on those 2 consoles. That's weird. Huh. Anyway, it's only on Switch console and also Steam, of course. Well, Windows, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Kind of weird that of all things, like, well, then again, Sony had this big issue just out of nowhere with Senran Kagura stuff. Like, they just were like, oh my god, we can't have this. There's women with boobs in our games. We can't have this. It's so fucking ridiculous. It's so fucking bloody offensive and all this other dumb shit. It's like, dude, no one cares, man. No one thinks of it that. No one gives a shit. Like, oh well, so what if they have some random, like, somewhat close to nudie stuff going on? Who gives a shit? Like, people care way too much about that crap. If people really were, you know, incessant on, like, getting their jollies off, they could just go play fucking porn games. Right? But, like, there's... The thing is, like, with me, the way I see it is... Hold on, I'm gonna die here if I'm not careful. With Senran Kagura, at the very least, is there's more going for it than just boobs, of course. So, like, people, you know, I'm sure they tend to enjoy the game outside of just the boobs. And even if somebody does enjoy the boob aspect, like, who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? But, of course, you know, the one company that just has to be so, you know, uptight about stuff, which is bizarre considering the fact that, like, you would think somebody like Nintendo would be a little bit more worried about stuff like that, when in reality, they just kind of don't really care all that much. At least not anymore, you know. It's just fucking bizarre, man. And it's just a dumb choice. But I remember hearing about, like, hearing about pretty much Senran Kagura just having that problem where now we might not get them anymore. We might not be able to get more of these games. At least I think the guy that's making Senran, the guy that made it, is, I believe, trying to make a new game still. I don't know. Not as in, like, a new Senran game, but basically something that's kind of like it. He might still be working with Marvelous. I'd have to look that up. Or at least, no, Marvelous is, I think, is the publisher. Tamsoft, I think, is the actual dev. But still, though, you know, I like my Senrans here and there. You know, I like my Estival Versus. I really liked Burst Renewal. That was pretty good. As for Ninja Wars, you know, the NEP Senran thing, it was okay. I wouldn't say it's something that's like, you know, I'll die if I don't play it type thing. At the time, I was kind of like, man, I have to play it. But now it's like, you know, nah. I mean, it was alright. But it wasn't really much. And what's funny is, whenever I think of that game, I kind of associate it with Celine because I was watching her play Apex at the time. while I was playing that game. Trying to go for 100% and all that, or whatever. Why can I not just fucking... Yes, just grab it. One thing I kind of wish we would have is more opportunities like that. More grapple hook situations that allows us to use it as a combat tool. I honestly think that's one thing that kind of got overlooked in a lot of Metroid. Well, then again, I mean, let's be honest. You know, a game like this, like, it makes sense to have that as a tool, right? It makes more sense for that to exist rather than, say, like a 2D Metroid. Which is why I wouldn't mind having another 3D Metroid kind of like this. Just not to the extent of this, you know, in terms of levels and all that. None of this crap. I'm talking about just, you know, a Metroid, but 3D, and has maybe some more combat situation things, you know, maybe some interesting combat. Because, like, with 2 Returns, like the 2 remake, even Dread, oh, I guess he swallowed it finally. Like, even with Dread, you know, we got that parry mechanic that kind of added a little bit of a focus on melee combat, which was pretty cool, honestly. Although, at least for, you know, 2 remake, it kind of sucked because it's a standing parry and not, you know, you can't do a running parry with it. And Dread made things much more simpler and easier and more streamlined and just way better. Which is funny because, like, most people might think, like, oh, making a game easier for players, you know, like, that's something that you don't normally like, right? Like, that's something that you kind of wish, you know, people wouldn't give into, like, devs wouldn't give into. Yeah, but Dread, I mean, it's fucking good, man. Like, it's obvious, you know? It's obvious just how good it was. Even if it did, like, streamline and modernize a lot of stuff, I still think it did a hell of a good job at least letting me have my fun. That's all I want. Like, I don't mind games, you know, allowing people to play their games casually or anything like that. I just want that to be an option that's, you know, perfectly fine. All I want is I don't want my shit to get taken away just because somebody else just can't play the game. Which is why you have games like Elden Ring and stuff, which, you know, allows you to summon characters, like to summon partners. Because, you know, there's people out there that just either just physically can't or don't want to learn how to get better or want to learn how to fight the boss or just maybe want to make the game a bit easier just in whatever regard. You know, not talking shit, I'm just saying in general, like, that's just a thing, right? There's going to be people out there that just want to have a more nicer time playing the game. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Oh god, I'm getting God Hand vibes again. How did we go from God Hand to this, and now it's like, yep. What the... But yeah, like, I don't mind having, like, that type of stuff, but just adding an easy mode was a dumb idea. Well, Elden Ring didn't really do it. I'm just saying, like, people complaining about it, saying, like, they should have added an easy mode was the dumbest thing because they already had one. It's just people didn't want to take the time to learn it. People didn't want to think, like, you know, wait a minute. They already have this, so I should probably use it. And that's a problem. And I'm not making fun of, like, casual players. I'm talking specifically about the players that are basically game journalists. You know the ones that just don't want to fucking play the game and have their fucking handheld the entire time. Because, you know, they have to do their fucking job, and then they complain. They say, like, you know, it's your guy's fucking fault. It's your guy's fucking fault because I have to play these fucking games. It's your fucking fault I have to play them. You know, I don't get paid enough for this shit. I gotta play these fucking stupid games. I never even wanted to play games in the first fucking place. We honestly need, like, which, you know, we technically kind of have. I mean, there's YouTubers out there that I guess you could consider that work as a game journalist without having the moniker of being game journalist on them, so which is nice. Mostly a lot of, like, reviewers and stuff, you know, they tend to kind of basically be that fine line between the two. By essentially, you know, playing the fucking... What is she doing? Why does she do that? Why do you not aim in the direction that I want you to aim in? She keeps turning around. Sorry, Wait. Can I actually move while I'm grappled? Like, it's not I don't know, it's just being fucking weird. It's not letting me change anything here. Wait, do I... Because I want to get up here, right? But I guess there's really no reason to, huh? Maybe there's a thing. Of course there is. It was just a lack of me seeing that there. Wait a minute. That's a fucking... What? What is it now? Oh. Well, it kind of looked like it was a charge beam thing. Anyway, like I said, you know, I don't have, like, any sort of necessary gripe against people who want to play a game casually, but I just think that, you know, give them the option, but don't take it away from me to have my game still be, you know, challenging or whatever, right? Which is where my opinions kind of fall on, like, games like Guilty Gear Strive and at the time Grand Blue, where it just felt like they were trying way too hard to get new people into a game that they probably wouldn't even fucking like in the first place. And to be fair, like, it, you know, it was successful, I guess, enough. At least Strive, I feel like, probably was. And then, you know, to an extent, Street Fighter kind of added that too, which at least with Street Fighter, I feel like they didn't do a bad job of adding it in. They just have motor controls, which, I mean, I've heard horror stories, you know, of people having to deal with people that use that shit, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it'd be that bad, but I don't know. I haven't really fought, like, any really good motor control players before, so they usually just end up doing the same one attack anyway, and they make it kind of just stupidly predictable, which, see, that's my argument about, like, adding casual controls or whatever, is even if you were to have something like that, something that makes your game more streamlined, which, by the way, you know, in all technicality, even, you know, Rev 2 actually had technical motor controls, if you think about it, with that stylized mechanic instead of the technical mechanics. But yeah, a lot of the reason why is because, like, people that use that stuff kind of end up relying on it way too much, and because of that, they get online and they become stupidly predictable. Like, if somebody's having fun using it, that's not a big deal. I'm talking about, like, people that get, like, cocky and they're like, yeah, you know, I can kick somebody's ass because I'm playing on modern controls, and they're playing on classic controls because they're bad. You know, they're such a fucking old boomer and they can't play with shit. And then they get online and get their ass whooped because they can't handle neutral, because that's just what happens. You know, they didn't take the time to actually learn the fucking game. They'd rather just play with modern controls and then just hit buttons and then just pretend like they're going to get a hit in there and that you're going to fall for it every time. And that right there, I think, is probably, like, the more better argument for motor controls, something that I'm not a big fan of technically, but, you know, I can still at least see the other side, so. And I get it, you know, I'm not saying that we don't need them, I'm just saying that if you're going to make motor controls a thing, at least make it to where it doesn't completely fuck over the other side of controls. However, of course, there is the other problem for games that happen to have, like, more modern controls. And again, keep this in mind, this is more so geared toward, like, fighting games. I'm not going to talk too much about, like, just story mode stuff, because, like, story mode games or whatever, because, you know, that's not going to affect anyone else. But this is stuff that affects people online, right? So that's what I kind of want to talk about. But anyway, so yeah, modern, like, class or whatever, you know, easy controls, whatever, you know. The problem a lot of the time is you'll get, like, really solid good pro players, and then they'll just kind of, like, give in to it, and then they'll use it to their advantage, thus creating another field of a higher goalpost to get to now, because now all the pros are using insert said whatever, you know, modern control thing here that makes the game easier for people to get into and play. And now, like, pro players don't have to try nearly as hard because, well, guess what? They already know the neutral, and on top of that, they have easy controls to play with, which makes the game 10 times fucking easier. They just press a button and not have to worry too much about stuff. They don't have to worry about accidentally fucking up an input if that happens. But then again, I guess you could say there's the other argument of like, well, if they're not pros, if they fuck up inputs. I mean, well, everyone's human. You know, not everyone's going to be potentially that great at every opportunity. You know, I don't see that really happening much. So in all fairness, like, even if they are pros, there's still the chance that they could still fuck up and make a mistake. And that's where, like, controls like that kind of come into play and make it just somewhat a bit easier to deal with, because now all you have to worry about is just neutral and which, you know, button press you're going to go for. My main complaint about modern controls is how fucking weird they are. I just... They feel weird to me. They don't feel like it's right. It feels like it's on rails. You know? That's what I don't like. I don't like the feeling of having what seems like and feels like no control over my stuff at all. It's a very bizarre feeling to have. Like, you feel like you're getting railroaded into combos and stuff, and it's like, that's not what I want. You know, I want to be able to do the combo myself. Like, if I press square, you know, a couple of times, I don't want it to end up going into a full auto combo. Which, one game that fucking sucked with that shit, by the way, with auto combo shit, which Dragon Ball FighterZ did a pretty good job at handling it, to be honest. One game that I would argue that kind of sucked shit at doing it was definitely Melty Blood Lumia, because the whole fucking having to get stuck in rapid beat just because you want to do like crouching combos or something and then just immediately get stuck into doing whatever. You know, like you just accidentally mash square too many times and now it's like, well, I guess a combo is just going to start like in the air. Now you got to deal with this and it just feels railroaded. And I have a lot of problems with new Melty Blood, but at least it's gotten better because you can kind of turn it off. But I don't think you can fully turn it off. I think they still make it to where like at least one of them, whether it be air or ground, has to be on. Maybe. I don't remember. But at least with a game like Unist, I think it's fine too, because like all it is just hitting square 5 or 6 times. And honestly, like you can stop in between it, and plus Unist is relatively easy enough to not do that. But with a game like Melty Blood, it felt like it was just much easier to accidentally fall into that trap of doing smart steer combo shit. Well, smart steer is Unist. Rapid beat is that. Now, what's my defense for something like a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ? Like, why do auto combos? Why am I fine with that? And what's wrong with the Grand Blue? Like, why do I not like the original Grand Blue, which still has some of the same stuff from before, but they definitely upped a lot of stuff, which is nice. So, start with the first thing here. My non-complaint, at least for Dragon Ball FighterZ, is that at least with fighters, auto combos are an excellent, like, thing that kind of fits into the everyday ordeal. And they're usually only 3 hits. They're super predictable, but, like, they're a nice combo extender. They're a nice combo starter. You know, if you can get somebody with them, of course. Usually, I end up using them for combo extenders if need be. But I think that's, really fitting, because at least they don't typically... There's 2 different variants. There's, like, the light and the medium version. And at least with the light version, it just knocks them back in the air and doesn't force you to go into a super like some games do. Right? And I think that's fine. I think that's nice. That's actually kind of handy. Also, yeah, if you do charge beam and then you go into Morph Ball, you'll drop, like, a whole bunch of balls while in it. I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to be down here, but I don't know. But yeah, fighters I feel like did a pretty okay job at it, which is surprising because, like, usually people kind of, they might see me as, like, the guy that doesn't really like fighters all that much, which is not necessarily true. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that I don't like it as much as I could have, and I don't like it as much as I did either. I don't know, it just kind of got a bit too streamlined for a while. Everyone became kind of the same. The maps are all just kind of the same shit. Just something about it just threw me off for a while. I just didn't really care much about it. Because I didn't feel like anybody had anything like super unique, at least until Baby came out. That's just my opinion, of course. Like, just, don't mind me. I'm just saying what I think. Okay, good. It does it automatically. Nice. Thank God for that. But for a game like Grand Blue, like, what was my problem with that? The supers. So, you can still do it, of course, but the supers are, you either can do the regular input, which is like, say, down forward, circle, right? Or you can do the easy input, which, of course, you know, does less damage for a super, quote unquote, and I'll get to that in a second. So, my issue, actually, hold on, let me finish this first. So, like, yeah, if you do like a regular super, then you get the full benefit of a regular super, right? That's kind of what the point was. And then, of course, for an easy super, like, it makes it easy for people just to hit, like, down forward R1 and just have it out, which is, like, a stupid, easy command input. My issue is the input. There's no need for more input. And it makes it easier just to fall into that trap of just being like, you know what, I'm just going to fucking do that then. I'm just going to input down forward R1 and call it a day. Which, yeah, I guess you could say, like, the same thing, like, with monitor controls for, like, Street Fighter, I guess. Is a lot of them probably do the same thing, too, where it's like, I don't remember if they make it to where supers are easy inputs or not. I don't remember. But we're not going to talk about that one. I want to talk about Grand Blue. So, yeah, basically, they make it, like, stupidly easy to do it, you know, which is one thing. But then they make it to where, like, the damage, you know, oh, it does less damage than a regular one would. Yeah, but the issue is that even though it does less damage than what, like, a normal super would do, it still does just enough damage to where it feels like there's no point of, like, even bothering. Like, the amount of damage that you get less just seems almost non-existent, I guess. Like, it doesn't feel like it matters nearly as much to do either or, besides just doing a simpler input. Because the damage itself is just minuscule in terms of, like, what you lose out on. And the other thing, too, is, like, at least in the original Grand Blue, if I remember correctly, I don't know about the new one, I haven't really tested it out, but supers, like raw super, or not raw super, but like, wrong word, but just like simple supers versus the actual inputted supers. If if you do a raw super, that's what I should be saying. If you do a raw super, like you just do it out of nowhere, not in a combo, nothing like that. You do it just because, you know, the issue that happens is, well, this fucking game sucks, I can tell you that. Wait, do I gotta kill everybody in this room? Just let that be that. Just let me just kill everybody in this room and move on, because I don't want to fucking deal with this shit. I'll do that at the very least. No, not him. Can you fucking blow it up? Thank you. God damn, dude. Did it unlock? No. Can I unlock it? No. What the fuck am I doing here then? What's the goddamn point then? Where do I go then, game? Do I go up here? Maybe. I don't know. So anyway, if you do it, you still end up having the same, I guess I go this way. You end up having the same damage. And it's like, well, that's not fair. Because now somebody could just do, which you could say like, well, if you fall for a raw super, that's your fault. Which, I mean, yeah, I get that. But it's like, what if there's that chance that you accidentally get raw supered? Now it's like, now you're fucked. Right? You didn't expect it. You kind of got fucked over for it. And now the game gives, you know, the opponent who just put in a stupid simple input without even trying, gets the full damage from something he didn't have to put it, like, for something they had to actually fucking, you know, input for. Like, barely input for. It just seems kind of weird. If it had just low damage at all times, I think that would be a better suited option. Because then it would kind of make players be like, well, I'm doing less damage, I should probably learn how to actually do the actual input, and then I can do it. But, you know, if people don't want to learn that, that's fine too, then they can just keep with the easier ones. I just wanted to do less damage, that's all. But anyway, that's enough of this old man's ranting about fucking games and why I don't like them anymore. See you guys in the next episode, and as always, take care, everybody.